If you're watching this, you clearly did click on the second episode, and that's really good to see. Thank you very much, and welcome back to the Footy Agenda. The support I've seen for the channel so far has been really great. Really appreciate the comments and feedback from what I've seen so far on YouTube and outside of YouTube. Just to say as well, the channel is on TikTok. I'm going to be doing a bit of content on there. I don't know how much I'll do, but if you'd like to follow, then I'll leave the link in the bio down below for the channel on TikTok. Apologies as well if I do sound a bit kind of bunged up. I've recently had a bit of cold, so I don't know if I've sounded myself or not. I'll soon see when I'm on the editing side of things. Anyway, enough about that. Let's deep dive down into today's topic. This is the Footy Agenda, and let's talk Leeds United. I really can't think of a club in the EFL that need to go up as much as Leeds do this season. I think there's a lot of pressure from all the way up to the top, looking down on Daniel Farke and his men to get promotion, to get the job that they didn't do last summer. And they need to do it this season. Now in this video, I kind of want the attention to be on the sponsorship deal. That is Red Bull. They came in last summer, signed a sponsorship deal, a multi-year deal with Leeds United to have the shirt sponsor. They bought a little bit of minority in the club, and ultimately I do think, from what I've seen, this is that they done that to protect PSR. You know, I do think the 49ers didn't have them in them to protect Leeds from PSR, ultimately calling out for Red Bull to come in. The sale of Luis Sinisterra to Bournemouth did ultimately help the club as well, but I do think Red Bull, from what I've seen, also kind of were joined in the help and survival there from PSR. It stopped Leeds from potentially having a season where they start on, let's say, -3 points or whatever. You know, we've seen that kind of penalty being put out before to Everton and Nottingham Forest for not following PSR rules. So yeah, I think Red Bull have come in and really boosted the club momentum wise. Ultimately, they're not gonna change this club into Red Bull Leeds or RB Leeds, shall I say. It's still gonna be the natural Leeds United. It's still going to be just Leeds United itself, but it's a good sponsorship deal. It was a record sponsorship deal, in fact, in the EFL. And yeah, if there's a word we focus on in this video, it is momentum. Red Bull have brought in momentum there. Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise with seeing Red Bull come in and sign a sponsorship deal for a Leeds United who, there's nothing to say that they're going to get out of the Championship. You know, it is just, they're just known as a Championship club, the same club who are in the league, the same league as Oxford. That's no disrespect to Oxford, but it shows that it kind of shows how massive Leeds are in that respect. That they're a one club city. They've got a brand that's been identified and well known all over the world. So it's impressive. It's a very impressive deal when I saw this come in. But yeah, that kind of did ultimately add capital investment for Leeds. They could play around with the transfer market with the summer just gone, and try and get this team into a winning team, the right team, to try and get them out of the Premier League second time round. And sorry, just actually looking at the transfer window they kind of had now, it was impressive. I really liked the look of Tanaka. I didn't really know him much when he was at Frankfurt, Fortuna Dusseldorf, there we go. But from what I've seen of Tanaka in the Championship so far, really good player. That's me going off topic there, but yeah, overall it's a good kind of window they've had. You know, they've stole players from top divisions, and they've just kind of put them in the second division in England, and rolled with it. Impressive, and you know, part of that is to thank of Red Bull's kind of sponsorship deal coming in. Majority, of course, is the 49ers, the 49ers enterprise, who are the majority owners of Leeds United. And it's really interesting as well because we normally see Red Bull associating with clubs who are in the top divisions. You know, they've took over and are the owners of many clubs in the world. You've got Red Bull, the New York Red Bull, sorry, You've got IB Leipzig, you've got RB Salzburg, all kind of teams in the top division. Not necessarily the best in that division, but certainly in the top leagues in their respective countries. But getting back on topic of the video, Red Bull coming in and signing this sponsorship deal, it's confidence for Parag Marathi. I believe I've pronounced that right. They certainly believe he is the right person in the chairman seat to get the club promoted this season. And Red Bull are a really, really well-known brand themselves, a real kind of massive business and company. I believe they're probably the best energy drink in terms of market share value wise in the world. They're a business and brand that, like I said, and I will reiterate, associate themselves with clubs in top divisions. And they're worth a lot more than the 49ers enterprise themselves. And there have been sources and leaks that one day Red Bull will own the majority share of Leeds. Do I think this will happen? I'm not an expert myself, but yeah, I do think this will happen if they are to progress. And like I said, momentum is certainly active right now in Leeds United. You know, they sit in third in the championship. They're looking good. They haven't had, they haven't had the best of starts, I guess, but they've certainly got momentum. And Red Bull want to be associated with a club that are going to get promoted to the Premier League. They aren't going to be associated with a club in the Championship. The 49ers do have the funds to kind of keep this club going in a very rich status and good health in the Championship if they are to have many seasons. But I do ultimately want to kind of talk about a little anyway about what I see the 49ers, their kind of perspective on Leeds. They own Leeds. Obviously, they own the San Francisco 49ers in the NFL, but they do own Leeds. Parag is the owner of Leeds United. I believe his kind of main interest, though, in my opinion, from what I've seen a lot online about this, is the NFL club himself. I just think he sees Leeds United as a side project, not necessarily as the main project. He doesn't have to have a main project. I guess the main project overall are the kind of clubs he has now, the 49ers and Leeds United. They both share like a 50-50% in kind of his main interest and goal. I'm sure he'll treat both clubs' interests in their rightful kind of sports at the same kind of respect and level. But I do think Leeds is his kind of side project. I don't know much about this, but I know he kind of spent a lot of years of scrutiny when he first joined the 49ers from NFL fans for his lack of knowledge in the sport. A lot of passionate fans in America who love American football believed he wasn't the right man for the job. I'm gonna say and from what I've seen as well, he's done the rightful thing now and convinced them over. But I think he doesn't forget about them kind of scrutiny comments he faced at the start of his tenure of the 49ers ownership. And I believe his kind of main interest is still going to be the San Francisco 49ers. That isn't to say he isn't going to not invest in Leeds ever again. He will, of course he will. But I do see it kind of go in the order of authority, and it shouldn't go like this. It goes to 49ers and then it goes Leeds. So yeah, Red Bull, let's see if they kind of come in for Leeds. Let's see if they kind of come in. Right now, from what I've read online, it is a multi-year club deal that Red Bull have on Leeds with the sponsorship. But you know, they've got a lot of money to pull out of this deal straight away. You know, if they don't believe in the club is kind of going in the rightful, promising direction, then they've got the rightful choice to pull out. It's their own money at the end of the day. And of course, the main kind of story point in the EFL this season is Leeds with the amount of injuries they've had. Can they do it? Can they get over the line? You know, there's a lot of new faces coming in, and you know, they're going to go big on transfers in January, it seems. But can they get over the line? Because it's going to have a complete new kind of squad who have to have time to gel with each other. And I don't know if they're going to get promoted necessarily, because the Championship is such a spooky league. Not going up last season did hurt Leeds. You know, they all thought they were going up. They were favourites on the day of the playoff final, and kind of, you know, we're seeing kind of the little things already pay the price of them not going up. You know, Clinton Somerville leaving to go to West Ham. Would he have necessarily left Leeds United to go to West Ham if they'd gone up to the Premier League? Probably not. You know, he would have probably stayed at the club. But it's a simple fact in football when it comes to EFL. You got to go up to keep your players at your club. And if we skip to next summer and there's still no promotion, then maybe you do see the likes of players leaving. Wilfred Yonto, Joel Peru, Ethan Ampadu. Maybe you do see the likes of them kind of players leaving. Specifically Wilfred Yonto, he's got a real kind of good attitude to be a top division player. You know, he doesn't see himself as a championship player deep down, I think, you know, from what I've seen online before. So yeah, maybe them kind of players are going to leave, and they're in a rut at that point of just being a kind of championship club, a bit similar to Watford, not being able to get out of that league. But the basics are, if you lose players, you lose momentum. That's how I see it at the end of the day. But you know, it is pressure this season for Daniel Farke. They do need to get up and pressure on Leeds to get promoted. But also don't fear things. You know, Leeds are like I said, a one club city, a massive brand, really identified all over the world. I shouldn't be scared too much if they don't go up. I think they can still go up. But I really think they have a good chance in terms of an ownership kind of reach here. If they go up this season, we could really see a lot of companies being interested in Leeds, specifically here as Red Bull. They're kind of taking the plunge of an interest of investing more shares into the club. And how many more shares could they invest if Leeds do seal the deal and go up to the Premier League, hey? And rightfully so. From what I've seen online, fans have said they don't want an RB Leeds. I don't think football fans want an RB Leeds. So I feel the Leeds Fan Trust will help that kind of, if the day comes of complete takeover by Red Bull, to not make the club into RB Leeds. I still think it's going to be the iconic Leeds United. But surely there is huge pressure on Leeds United to go up this season. Let me know down below what you think in the comments. I want to know what you think, Leeds United fans especially. Would you rather see Red Bull be the owners or keep with this kind of 49ers enterprise in being the ownership of Leeds? Exciting times ahead though for Leeds, without a doubt. Thank you guys for watching this video. My name is Rob. Please like and subscribe. I really enjoyed the first video that went out with surrounding Gareth Southgate. I got some great feedback from that. Really glad you guys enjoyed it. So please like and subscribe, support the channel for more. I'm looking to do as much content as possible on here, and thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.